You miss your bus by 3 seconds. The doors close right in front of you. You wave. The driver doesn't notice. Annoyed, you sit on a nearby bench and wait for the next one. 20 minutes later, sirens fill the street. People begin checking their phones. The bus you were supposed to be on has crashed. Nobody knows exactly how it happened. Nobody knows exactly why you missed it. But one thing is certain. If you had walked a little faster, you would have been there. And for the first time, a strange thought enters your mind. How many times has luck already saved your life without you knowing? How many invisible events had to happen perfectly for you to be here right now? And that raises a bigger question. Out of the 8 billion people alive today, what would the luckiest human possible look like? To answer that, we need to start before this person was even born. Because their first stroke of luck happened long before they took their first breath. Every human begins as a race. Hundreds of millions of sperm cells compete to reach a single egg. Only one succeeds. If a different sperm had arrived first, even by a fraction of a second, an entirely different person would exist. Not a slightly different version of you. A completely different person. The odds of your exact genetic combination occurring are almost impossible to calculate. Some estimates place them in the trillions. Others place them much higher. For our luckiest human, they already won the biggest biological lottery ever held. The lottery of existing. But luck isn't finished yet. Because being born is one thing. Being born healthy is another. Not all genetic combinations are equal. Every human carries mutations. Most are harmless. Some are beneficial. Others can cause serious diseases. By pure chance, our person inherits an unusually fortunate combination. A healthy heart, strong immune function, good eyesight, no major inherited disorders. Nothing was earned. Nothing was chosen. It was simply luck. The same way some people are born 6 feet tall. The same way others are born with perfect pitch. The same way some people seem naturally gifted from the beginning. The genetic lottery is unfair, and our person wins it. The probability becomes even smaller. But luck still isn't finished. Because now they have to survive childhood. Throughout history, childhood has been one of the most dangerous periods of human life. For most of human existence, many children never reached adulthood. Disease, accidents, infections, natural disasters, countless invisible threats. Even today, life is full of random risks. A fever arrives at the wrong moment. A driver looks away from the road. A storm changes direction. For our person, every danger misses. Sometimes by a mile. Sometimes by an inch. Sometimes by a single second. And they never even realize it happened. The odds continue shrinking. Now imagine our person is walking through a city. A construction worker accidentally drops a wrench. The tool falls from several stories above. 1 second earlier, it would have landed directly on them. 1 second later, the same result. But they stopped briefly to answer a text message. The wrench crashes harmlessly onto the sidewalk behind them. Most people experience near misses throughout their lives. Moments where a tiny change could have produced a completely different outcome. But our person experiences an unusual number of them. Again and again, chance seems to favor them. Not enough to look supernatural. Just enough to look impossible. Then comes one of the strangest forms of luck. Meeting the right person. Every day, humans cross paths with thousands of strangers. Most are forgotten immediately. A face on a train. A cashier at a store. Someone walking a dog. But occasionally, one encounter changes everything. A future spouse. A future friend. A future business partner. A future mentor. For our person, these meetings happen at exactly the right moments. The teacher who encourages them. The employer who gives them a chance. The friend who introduces them to the right opportunity. Each encounter appears random. Yet together, they shape an extraordinary life. The probability keeps falling. Now imagine our person misses another bus. Not because they are late, but because they accidentally take a wrong turn. Frustrated, they choose a different route home. Hours later, news reports reveal a major accident along their original path. This type of event happens more often than people realize. Tiny decisions constantly alter our futures. A delayed alarm, a traffic light, a forgotten wallet, a spilled cup of coffee. Life is filled with invisible forks in the road. Most go unnoticed. For our luckiest human, nearly every fork points in the right direction. Not because they are smarter, not because they are better, because chance keeps choosing them. Then comes another remarkable form of luck: timing. History is filled with brilliant people who lived at the wrong time. Inventors born before the necessary technology existed. Artists whose work was appreciated only after death. Scientists whose discoveries arrived decades too early. Success often depends on timing as much as talent. For our person, timing is always on their side. They graduate when opportunities are growing. They invest before a market rises. They enter industries before they explode. They happen to be standing exactly where opportunity appears. Again and again, and again. But perhaps the greatest form of luck isn't avoiding bad events. It's being present for good ones. Imagine finding a wallet. Inside is information that leads to a lifelong friendship. Imagine accepting an invitation you nearly declined. At that event, you meet the person who changes your future. Imagine applying for a job on a whim. The company later becomes enormously successful. Many of the most important moments in life begin as accidents. Small accidents. Ordinary accidents. Invisible accidents. For our person, those accidents keep working in their favor. The chain becomes almost unbelievable. Now let's consider probability itself. Imagine flipping a coin. Heads. Then heads again. Then again. 10 times in a row. The odds are already incredibly small. Now imagine 50 heads in a row. The probability becomes approximately 1 in 1.1 quadrillion. And yet life is filled with events much more complicated than coin flips. Every decision creates new possibilities. Every possibility creates new outcomes. Every outcome creates more possibilities. A human life contains millions of these invisible branches. Most produce average results. Some produce bad results. A few produce extraordinary ones. Our luckiest human somehow keeps landing on the extraordinary branch. Again, and again, and again. To recap, our person won the lottery of existence. Won the genetic lottery. Avoided countless childhood dangers. Escaped random accidents. Met exactly the right people. Made fortunate wrong turns. Lived at the perfect time. And repeatedly found themselves in the right place at the right moment. Each event alone is possible. None are impossible. But when combined together, the probability becomes almost meaningless. A number so large that the human brain struggles to understand it. Far beyond billions. Far beyond trillions. Far beyond quadrillions. A sequence of luck so unlikely that it begins to feel impossible. And yet there is something strange about this calculation. Because the luckiest human possible may not actually be someone who experiences all of these things. The luckiest human possible might simply be someone who gets another day, another sunrise, another conversation, another chance. Because every person alive today is already standing at the end of an impossible chain of events. For billions of years, every ancestor survived long enough to pass life forward. Every generation faced danger, disease, disaster, war, accidents, and somehow the chain never broke. If a single link had failed, you would not be here. Your parents would not have met. Your grandparents would not have met. Your story would never have begun. The odds of that chain leading specifically to you are so small that they are effectively impossible. And yet here you are, breathing, thinking, existing. So while somebody out there may be luckier than you, nobody in the entire universe has ever had your exact journey, and nobody ever will. Because against odds too large to comprehend, you already happened. And that might be the luckiest thing of all.